Well, here we are on our fourth and final review video. We still have one more of the overview and, well, not so much overview as much as ranking of the group of all of them and then our individual ones. For our last video, we got these four here, so stay tuned and for our thoughts. All right, so for our last four, we're going to discuss In the Year of the Dragon, Jorvik, Merlin, and the Oracle of Delphi. They are all quite different from each other, very different mechanics. And I think we've decided that we're going to start off with In the Year of the Dragon. This one is a very quick game where you're basically just trying to mitigate disaster and gaining points by, basically getting people into your houses, temples.
Yep.
Is it temples? Is that what they were called? The temples.
I don't remember.
And basically each round you're just, something bad's going to happen and you want to try to not get rid of those guys from your temples. So, thoughts on this, guys?
It's cute. It's very... I said when we were playing, it feels kind of pokery. Because it's not like you're trying to hide things from people, but the way the actions are separated out, they're in groups, and it's always one more group than player count. And so there might be an action you really want that's in a grouping with an action that someone else really wants, but if you go there and then they want to go there after you, they have to pay some money to do the action that they want to do, which I think is interesting. I don't know, like, the first time Ryan and I played it, it came up as because we played it on BGA initially, and BGA doesn't have the board, and we're like, you don't even need the board. Really, you just need the tiles. So we were talking about this game would be great if it was condensed into like a $15 travel size game. I would 100% get it as like my go-to, like, maybe whenever we can travel again, like I'm on the train for a couple hours, let's play some In the Year of the Dragons, we can get some games knocked out. Otherwise, as a big box game like this, I don't necessarily want to have it on my shelf.
Yeah, this is not really a big box game. It's such a quick game, and there really isn't a need for the large board that it does come with. But on to kind of like more about what Keegan was talking about with the actual actions. You split up these actions into different groups, and they just kind of like randomly come out, right? They just randomly come out in which groups. They're not going to be the same groups each time. And at a lower player count, it can get pretty restrictive because once one person picks a group, that group is eight different actions that they just can block off from somebody. And money is not the easiest to come by.
8 actions in one group?
No, it's 4. Sorry, I said 4. I'm sorry, it's 8 or so total. No, 4 in a group that you'd block off completely.
This game's definitely not as interesting at 2. It needs 3, 4.
With the 3 was a little better because right now you got 3 different groups, so that's a little less cards per group. So you're not going to be completely blocked off from different actions, and 4-player may be a little bit better because then people may only be blocking a single action, which may be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Feels like you can actually do some more things, and because it is so restrictive and so just mitigation this whole time, that being able to have as many options available to you is, I don't know, I guess it just would depend on your style of play. I guess I would prefer it if I had more options available to me.
I like it tighter. I think the whole game is like what Ryan said, you're mitigating disaster, but you don't necessarily, I don't think you physically can mitigate everything.
No.
You have to kind of prioritize, like, if this disaster happens now, is this going to hurt me more than the disaster that's going to happen 3 rounds from now? And you have to kind of figure out, based on what your strategy is, which disasters you can just let happen to you versus which ones you have to fully mitigate versus which ones you can partially mitigate. Which is pretty cool because like the fact that the disasters are different every game to game, like they're arranged differently and there's 2 of every disaster. There could be like rice is going to be real important at the beginning of the game, but at the end of the game, fuck rice, no one needs it anymore. So do I go hard on the rice at the beginning and just make sure this is covered, or just totally ignore it because it won't matter in late game? So there's some cool decision space just from that.
Yeah, there's some variability between plays. I think it's my copy. I think I'm gonna keep it. I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't think it's like anything super incredible, but it is different enough. It's not like most games where you're like trying to get stuff to make stuff to get points or anything like that. It's all like you're gonna get a guy and you got to pick which guy you want and just try and not do horrible. Like mitigate disasters. I guess like you're just trying to like survive, and it's just who's doing the best, but not like best points. It's just more who's not doing the worst. It's kind of like a flip. So it's interesting and different enough, and it's very simple. Yeah. So I don't know how often it would get played, but it's fine to me. It's not on repeat plays. It kind of went down for me. Like, but then again, like pulling this game out every once in a while, I think it would be pretty fun. So. And
the turn order actually is incredibly important in this. It got to a point in the game that I was not going to get to be first in the round anymore. There's just no way for me to catch up.
You weren't even able to go second for like the last half of the game.
Yeah, and it just screwed me the whole time because it's like you said, okay, I can try to mitigate. Like, do I wait now or wait 3 turns from now? But I had 3 turns and I still couldn't get to the actions I want because the groupings, just the way the groupings kept working, I was like, I can't get to that one. Oh, I can't get coins because now that was taken. I don't have coins, so I can't even go there. So I'm just stuck with these ones. Ah, crap. This is just...
Which is interesting.
How do I mitigate this the best that I can with everything being taken from me?
I mean, the whole game is interesting because it's tense from the very start, But I mean, that then becomes the decision space of like, do I lose some guys or lose some houses or do bad in this round just to take like, I think one of the monks or something like that is worth like 6 initiative. So it's like, do I take this guy who's not really worth anything to me in this round just so that I can start getting closer to maybe being first in the initiative? So there's lots of decision spaces and interesting decisions to be had in the game. So that does make it interesting, but it's fun. It's just a quick, fun little. I mean, I guess fun. It's not fun in a sense of like it's fun, but it's fun in the fact that everyone's just fun. It's fun in let me finish. It's fun in that everything is so horrible, and it's while you might like lose a guy, it's fun to watch your opponent lose like 3.
I think that's the reason I wish it was a travel game. For this other reason, the fact that everything's horrible, I would love to have this as like a 2 beers in bar game. Like we're at a bar hanging out, or like a gamer bar or something, or a barcade, and we're like, we're all feeling pretty good. Let's get Year of the Dragon now and get kind of angry at each other a little bit. And just a 30-minute quick drunk game would be kind of fun.
Well, there's gotta be Glory to Rome.
There's gotta be a way
Glory to Rome has too much more of like this going on, I feel like, in it. But like this is like if you're gonna be doing a buzz game with gamers, you can Glory to Rome for sure. But I feel like if you're gonna do like a buzz game with casual gamers, this is a great like here's the quick rules and let's just play this in 30 minutes and be done.
Yeah, it's pretty streamlined.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That was actually quite a bit of talk on such a very short, small game.
But that's in the Year of the Dragon.
In the Year of the Dragon. And now to a completely different game.
Just to say, this whole group was pretty rough. Like there was some major.
There were some highs and lows in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this was not the one we should have saved for last.
Okay. Well, Jorvik is not at all my style of game at all. It's a gambling betting game, I guess. Bidding. Yeah. Basically, you're just trying to sort of set collection, though there's very few set collection. There's some engine. No, there's not even really an engine. It's more combo.
Yeah.
Not even fully combo, which is weird. Okay, yeah. It's just like the basic of set collection and combo. the very basic of those.
Baby's first Keyflower.
Yeah, basically.
Although I think this might come out before Keyflower, the original version, because this is a reskin, re-edition of it.
Yeah, and you're just trying to like bet on the different cards, and by placing your workers down, and then it's just going to go around the table, and you're going to have to pay for however many workers people put that location, and I don't particularly like. I'm not. Whereas maybe another game in here I can say I absolutely hate, but this one, even with this type of game I don't like, it was fine. I didn't feel completely bad as another game in these other two. But this one I don't really know how to do the whole bidding thing. I just never felt like I was doing it properly. So
for me, the mechanic of the bidding was more interesting than the rest of the game. Like Max brought up a point when we were playing it the second time, is that the cards are kind of boring. They are. They're pretty just like whatever. But like the bidding mechanic I think is really cool. Like that's the main reason I really wanted to like Keyflowers, because I love the bidding idea in that game. We're like, I'm gonna put some meeples here and this is my tile. Oh, you put 2 meeples there, so now I have to bid higher than that, but I can just add to my bid, or I can take my guy away and move it to something else and bid on something else entirely. And I think that idea is great. But then you have to put your city together in Keyflowers. Like, I don't really fucking care. And just like this, then you put your cards down. Like, well, I don't even care about the cards. Just the bidding part was the really fun part.
Yeah, the bidding mechanic in this is a lot of fun too, because when you place your guy down, you make that card. The cost is however many meeples are there at the end of the round. So if I put 1 there and no one else puts anything there, it costs 1 silver. But if Keegan and Ryan and then Keegan and I go there again, it gets exponentially more expensive, so the first person can bow out and just not bid on it, and then it goes down the line.
And it's cheaper because someone backs out.
Yeah. So that is actually really interesting to me, because there are times, because money is super tight in this game, there are times where it's like, I'm not going to bid on a single card, because if you don't get any cards, you get more money at the end of the round. So I'm just going to places where other people are just to be a jerk and make it more expensive for them, and then really I'm just going to go and get money. So like that is fun and interesting. It's a real take-that-y, jerky game. Unfortunately, the rest of the game isn't that interesting. It's pretty bland. The art's pretty bland. The set collection's bland. The like, oh, I get a card because I need to collect these different colored cubes, and I get a ship, and I get to put them on. It's just kind of bland. Like, it's just not. There's nothing
exciting.
Like, yeah, like if the cards interacted in a basically completely different way that was like exciting or interesting. Like
using those cubes, completing it, then gives you something.
Just right? Maybe if there was an extra element to it. I mean, I like how simple it is, but I just don't enjoy the cards in the game. If those were completely different, I think this game would be a lot better and ranked a lot higher for me. As it is, it's got an interesting mechanic that just is bland in the rest of the game, and so it really doesn't shine.
It's like someone made rice, like a big bowl of rice, and they're like, oh, here's a little bit of salt, and they're like, but here's 50 gallons of rice. A little bit of salt's the bidding, and all that stuff, and the rice is everything else.
And the bidding is really fun. It is really fun to screw everyone out or make like them have to make the tough decision of, well, now that they went there, I can only get this card or this card, so which one do I go for? That there is some interesting dynamics in there.
It gets kind of mathy, because then you can also start going like, well, if Max bows out here, then I can buy it for 3, but I'm first to go in this next card that I do want, and the for sure going thing, if I want it, is 3 as well, but I only have 5 money. So then do I put another thing here, hope someone else bows out so then I can pay for it cheaper? Like, there's some cool, like, ideas, but just the cards didn't really, like...
It falls flat.
It falls flat. Like, all I wanted was boats, but then I couldn't do anything with the cubes I got to fulfill, like, points or anything, so it just didn't really matter to me that much.
Yeah, and so it's this whole game is a lot about timing and turn order.
Yeah.
Which the two I just never could put together with this. It's just bidding in general. I always felt like I couldn't, like, even when I had the optimal last position, I never felt like somehow Max or somebody was always able to place their guys perfectly right to always get always have the smallest amount, or like take one guy off so that they pay less of their own, and I never was able to do it. I was like, I don't understand this. This is...
Don't take Ryan to the casino. That's what we're saying.
No, don't. I don't go to casinos because I lose. Always. Guaranteed.
I can give or take bidding games. like the bidding aspect of this, and I like High Society and some other ones, but yeah, this just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, and some of the cards are extremely powerful over others, especially like there's a single card that gives you just an extra gold every round, and if that comes out early, you get it, but it's going to be random, and whoever just happens to kind of be in a good position of the betting and happen to have a lot of money that round, they're probably going to get it, and that is super powerful.
The one benefit is, though, the deck is kind of seeded. So, like, that get an extra money card doesn't come in until the seed. B or is
I thought it was C, but it's just Aiden got it, like, in the first round of the C phase, and it just so happened that there was nothing else good on that, so, like, he got it for, I think, like, a silver or 2 silver, so it was like it instantly paid for itself basically.
Yeah,
at least it like
I got paid for, and
at least it like that powerful stuff was like thought into the game. At least there wasn't just like shuffle all these cards and hope for the best, because there could be like games where like if that was the case, there could be an automatic blowout from the get-go of the game.
Maybe if there was one of those in each deck, then you're like, okay, then at least you know, like, okay, I lost it, but I'm not going to be completely screwed. At least I have a chance to get another one. Because they are really powerful. Like, it can be super helpful to get 3 money every round rather than just 2.
Yeah, or 5. The card lets you just buy any card you want for free. That one was great.
That's a super power. Because then, you just stack a whole bunch and then force them to not be able to. And you're like, it's free for me. And
I was ultimately pretty disappointed in it.
Talking about disappointments.
For you.
Yeah,
Merlin.
All right,
I'll let you
go
guys.
ahead.
No,
go ahead, Ryan. No, you go first. You go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, because then we'll balance it. We'll balance the scales after you tip them.
With me as a long-term planner and hating a lot of luck in games, Merlin is an absolute shit game. It is just roll and move, and your actions are purely based on what dice you roll. There is some mitigation, but there's also a lot of ways that you get completely fucked simply because of dice rolling, and that is a shit way to play this type of game. I hate games that use dice for your actual actions. Not like a dice placement one, where you actually use there's multiple different things you can do with
like Twa,
Rise to Nobility, right? There's so many different things you can do, but when it's simply based on like you can only move your guy this direction in this many spaces, and you only have so many dice, well, it's pretty shitty, and a really bad feeling. I know there's an entire round that I'm like, I can't even do like the dice that I happen to roll. I can't do anything. I have nothing to possibly mitigate this. No spot that I'll end up landing on will allow me to mitigate something. And like, this is just, it's stupid, and why this is just feels like just a waste of time.
Do you want to go or do you want me?
I liked it. It's not going to be like a game I'm going to go out and buy at all. I'm a person also that doesn't mind some luck in games. I do prefer if games have luck, there is more mitigation. So if you do just have a total shit show of a turn, like you have at least a little bit of a way to like get out of it. Which I think in a way is what the Merlin token is supposed to be in this, since he can go in either direction, and you can also wait out to see if someone else is going to move him first, and maybe you can do that. And like the banners you can collect in the game give you some type of like rule breakers that help you get some mitigation, but the fact is you have to actually get the banner first.
Yeah.
But you start with one at least, so maybe you can somewhat use like your starting one as a get out of jail free card for at least one turn. For me though, I didn't mind the dice rolling aspect of it. There was definitely turns where I'm like, man, this is not what I want to do, but I'll make the best of it and try to see if I can just at least like maybe I can get the shield I need to protect the traders that are or stop the traders that are coming in. But at least like if I do this one thing, I for sure can get this one card out of my hand and get at least 1 point for it.
So see, in my case, nothing I could do could have gotten me something where I would have gotten a card out of my hand, or a way of saying, oh, I'll just go do something else, because anything else that I happen to land on literally would have done nothing for me. There was like 2 spots that just like both of them were points, and I had a single flag. I'm like, It's a single point. Cool. This is not doing anything for me right now. I can't ever even get to the colored spaces to even get a flag, get a shield, right? Nothing allowed me to even get to it.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sitting there the whole time through that turn, and you guys are just like pulling my guys off the board. I'm like, I can't even put them back on the board.
Yeah,
So-
I think you had a rough time of it in this game. I don't think that always happens. I do think that there can be a round where that happens, just based off the dice rolls. If you just can't get to certain spots. So one big reason why I like Feld, and Merlin oddly feels like a mixture between In the Year of the Dragon and Oracles of Delphi to me, because there's a lot in Merlin that you have to try and you get attacked at the end of each round, and if you don't stop the attack, you lose points. So you're constantly trying every other round, yeah. You're kind of trying to finish quests and get different flags and score points, but then you're also trying to mitigate this disaster that's going to come every other round. And so one of the reasons I really like Feld is that's a giant puzzle to me. It's, do I, just go for these quests because I know I can get 6 or 8 points, and I don't go to try and stop the invaders from attacking because I'm only going to lose points, so it's a net of 5 points, or do I try and stop them? Then it just becomes it becomes this open world, like, kind of choose your own puzzle in a way. That can really screw you over, or you can really work things out. It just depends. But sometimes just you roll poorly and it goes bad. So there's definitely some luck. I really like Arthurian legend theme. I like this game all right. It's not the greatest. And before anybody comments, I used to have the expansion because I heard this game is only good with the expansion, and I played it with the expansion, and it overcomplicated the game, it overbloated the game, and I did not enjoy the expansion at all. So I sold the expansion. So I do think this is the better version. They haven't played with the expansion because I didn't even want to do it. So I sold it. I think it just becomes way too long and even more analysis paralysis, which this game can do to you, because you really have to think through your turns. I think it's a fun game. I think I would have kept it in the collection. I think had I not played this, which I think blows this one out of the water and does everything I like in this game, but Delphi does it better. So when we get onto that, I'll compare the two, but I like Merlin all right, but there really isn't as much mitigation, whereas in Oracles of Delphi, it reminds me of Castles of Burgundy, where, yeah, you are kind of pigeonholed into what you roll, but there are so many options, whereas in Merlin, there's few, which can be fun. It makes a tighter, more strict game, which some people like, but it can also feel bad, and that can be fun sometimes, but ultimately I would rather play Oracles of Delphi over Merlin every single time, even though I like the look of this one. I think it's got a really pretty board. It's more interesting theme. There's just parts of it that fall a little bit flat, like the environs board and stuff like that. I do like the tightness of it, but ultimately I thought I would not like this, and I thought this was ugly and stupid looking, and I was not excited to play it, and then I played it, and I was like, well, I don't need Merlin. I can just get rid of it. So.
Do we just want to go to Delphi?
Do we want to go to
Yeah, let's go to Delphi. Merlin.
Do you have any more thoughts?
No, it's okay. It's fine. If you want a game that has some, like, I think this is a good game for people that are like newer-ish into the hobby but want something a bit like more heavy, because at least this game has the luck. So like if you have someone who's like really good at just like strategy games, they almost always win. This gives enough luck in the game that even newbies have a chance of winning, which is a good thing to draw people into the hobby, because there's nothing worse than trying to get into the hobby and constantly losing. And you're like, well, why do I even want to play these games anymore? I'm not having fun, because especially if you have a competitive friend who wants to win at some point, this gives them a chance to win. So I think this is a good way to draw somebody into the hobby and give them the experience of the world, and then they will probably also drop this off at some point.
And if you like tighter, more like I like, for comparison, there's Marco Polo, Voyages of Marco Polo board game, and then they came out with Voyages of Marco Polo 2, which Voyages of Marco Polo is a pretty strict. You gotta get the right amount of camels and the right everything to do your turn, but because travel is really tight, which I've heard in Marco Polo 2 they kind of expand and make travel a bit easier. So if you're comparing the two, this is the really tight, hard, I've got to think every round through. I'm not going to be able to do everything I want to do it. And this one is a little bit more open world, loose. I can do most things I want to do, but it's just how efficient can I do it. This one just ultimately feels better. So
yeah. So, well, the Oracle of Delphi is it's a pick up and deliver. It's a race game.
Yeah, it's a race.
Probably the weirdest thing for Feld so far. Since Feld is known for point salad. Nothing here. No points.
Point salad.
Yeah, there's not a point in this game.
It's simply the first person to complete all the missions and get back to Zeus. Personally, I had a lot of fun with it. I did not win either time, and so showing you guys I can still enjoy a game or lose. Yes, I enjoy them. It reminded me a lot of Istanbul, right? It's this racing game, though for this one you're using dice, right? And that's how you're going to do your actions. And I guess where I should say why I hate this versus why I actually like this. This is simply the most efficient way of just moving around the board. And there's so much mitigation in this, and just like, let's just say I want to start moving around, you roll a dice, you're like, okay, I got the blue dice. There's so many different ways you can possibly go. It's not like you're stuck to one single path.
Yeah.
And then there was maybe a couple rounds in the 2 times that I played that I didn't have a mitigation token, but I literally was able to get it like the next round and keep doing it. Yeah, the fate tokens
or whatever.
That help move your dice around. I'm like, yeah, I am not struggling with being purely stuck with these. Even getting 3 of the same color kind of stinks, but you're like, but that's okay because I can move once, but then also get this other. I can trade one in for a 4th action the next round, or move one of my heroes up, right? And then
and sometimes it actually benefits you if you can get to a spot like that's green and there happens to be a green statue, then you can also just pick up the green. Like there were times where I wanted the same color.
That's like the thing I was gonna say too, besides the fact that like your dice helps with the movement. This, your dice only do movement.
Yeah.
This, your dice do everything. And every die you have like 5, 6, 7 potential options with every die. You have so many things you can do. Like maybe I can't move with this color, but this color lets me do something else.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
Yeah, this one's just it's just a fun efficiency puzzle. I did our second game. I was pretty tired, and I was first player and I stared at the board for it felt like 5 minutes going like, where do I, like there's just so many options. I did have a little bit of paralysis. I felt really bad. I was like, but it really does matter. Your first move decides the rest of your game, and I totally chose the wrong route.
Like that second game, I looked at the board and was like, here's the route. I know the route, and I fucking smoked the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like 6 or 7 more rounds from maybe being done, and Keegan was just.
By the time you guys had 2 or 3 missions done, I had 7 done.
Yeah, it was
I had
crazy.
the route exactly planned out, what I wanted to do, and all I did was a circle, and it was done.
I think had I not failed 2 of my the attacks on the monsters, I would have been real close.
You would have been really close.
I would have been real close. But I look over and I go, what the fuck, Keegan? How are you? What? I'm just like, he just saw that path that you go here, perfect. It's one spot to drop it off. Then one spot to drop it off.
That's what it feels like. It feels like that.
It was kind of spatial awareness games, and usually I don't like spatial awareness games, but for some reason I'm good at them and I hate it. But
I mean, to this, it's just like, can you find that most optimal route?
Yeah.
Can you see, and it's kind of fun to try to be like,
it is fun.
is this one, okay, I kind of see something, let's test it out, let's see. Damn it wasn't the best one.
It also, I think, another thing that helped me at least that game is you also get these boat tokens, or not boat tokens, but your tiles that are on your ship.
Okay, yeah.
And every person gets a special, unique power. So the game
Some
is
asymmetric
Yeah,
powers.
so it's a little bit asymmetric, and
it's just a little starting.
Yeah, a little starting thing.
Well,
we did a drafting.
None of them really break.
It felt like mine was really powerful though.
Which one was yours again?
I constantly have a -1 discount.
Oh yeah, that's
change.
pretty
so
good.
Each of my die technically count as 2 different colors for free, which felt really good.
Yeah, if you play this, let us know
big
which
overpowered ones.
Because there's ones that one just lets you start out ahead of the game. Like you just take one of your, because you got to complete 12 different quests or something like that. But one of them you just start. You only have to do 11. One of them you start with more.
But you receive no other powers. Whereas Keegan's he gets one. He doesn't have to pay 1 fate token the entire game, which could be much more beneficial than simply starting off with only 11.
Yeah, because it gives you a lot more. Mine was I could go clockwise or counterclockwise in our last game, and that felt pretty good. Except for I did not go a good route. And there's in both of these there's a bit of luck. Like you're gonna get there's wound cards you can take, which can literally.
Yeah.
I know people don't like this in games, but your round is just done. Like if you get 3 wound cards, you have to spend your turn getting rid of those wounds, and that's your turn. But it does do a cool thing I really love in games where when it's not on your turn to keep you interactive. When somebody rolls a dice, if you have have that god token up at least once, want. You can continue to move those god tokens if they roll one of those same colors. So it keeps you interactive on other people's turns. It just goes, like the game just moves well. It just flows.
You're always like excited for when someone ends their turn because like, come on, roll that pink. Roll the pink one. Come on, I need my god to move
That's
up.
part of the mitigation too in the game. Like, if you legit your die just is a dead die and you can't move it for any reason, you always have the option to use that die to make that god go up a spot, or use that die to draw a card, like you said, that lets you give a 4th action next turn. Like, those are always available to you, which feels really good.
Yeah, there's some fun little things you get. I can't remember if it's if you put your statue down, if you beat a monster. I think it's when you beat a monster, you can get these little scrolls that do different things. Like, you can spend a guy to get different benefits. You can spend dice. There's just some more asymmetric stuff in throughout the game. You can build your ship kind of differently and do different stuff. And so I was pleasantly surprised. There's a bit of setup to the game, which is a little bit of a downside. And it's ugly
I'd love to see a really cool deluxe version of this.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
I mean, TMG published the first one.
It's really it's a really enjoyable game.
They do a really good deluxe.
Give it the Luna treatment.
I'm sure, like, I never hear about this when I hear people talk about Feld game. This is one I never hear come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing, though, I do have a problem with is just the monster battling. I really just don't like rolling dice to kill a monster. It's so boring just like, can it just be somehow you collect cards to fight them off, or like
it's your typical battle thing.
I never care for it.
At least in this one, though, you don't roll once and then you're done. Like you
can spend those tokens to roll again, and it makes it easier. And then also, if you get shields throughout the game, it makes your fighting the monsters
easier.
I mean, there was a time where me and Keegan had to roll like 5 times in a row and just spend all of our tokens to beat the monster, and you have to do it. But there are also, again, you can plan that and get the black. I don't know if it's Hades, the black token.
Yeah, that just auto kills.
But that just auto kills a monster. So like. There are a lot more ways and everything has a way to mitigate something in this game, so it's just how you want to plan to do it and how you plan your route. And of course there is the luck of the dice, and there's the luck if you just draw wound cards. There was a couple times where Keegan and I just happened to draw the same color and you lose a turn, but I mean I lost 2 turns our first game and I still won it.
That's true.
So it's not necessarily the end all be all, but it's not the most strategic. There's a lot of whatever RNG, but it's fun. It's fun to shit talk each other and you didn't beat the monster. You had to spend 5 tokens or like.
Because Ryan brought it up,
surprised me
with like Istanbul, because that's the first thing I said when we started playing. He was like, "Oh, it's a race game. It's Istanbul." For me, I still think I own Istanbul with all the expansions, and I think I'm going to keep that and not buy Delphi. And even if I didn't own either, for me, I would still think I'd pick Istanbul over Delphi, strictly because of setup. And because Istanbul I could teach easier to people and be like, let's just play Istanbul really quick. This is how the game works. And that's one of those games where like every time, we don't play it a lot, but when we do play, like, man, I need to play this game a lot more. Delphi I had a lot of fun with, and if Max brings it over, he's like, let's play Delphi. I won't say no. But personally, for me,
this one's mine.
Yeah,
this is the one Ryan's.
That's
I know.
surprising.
I was like, "Do you want to get rid of it?" Because I want this one. I'll trade you. I'll trade you Merlin.
If Ryan wants to play it and he wants to set it up, I'll play it. But for me and my personal collection, I'm going to keep Istanbul.
Yeah, I prefer Istanbul. Istanbul doesn't have the dice. You just you have so many movement that your guy can
you
do,
can send people to prison.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer Istanbul to Delphi, but I had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun trying to figure out the most efficient route.
I'm going to disagree. I prefer Delphi to Istanbul. I've played Istanbul. I like it. It's fun.
Max doesn't know what he's talking about. He's done talking.
No, this is just my opinion. I would rather play Delphi. Istanbul is a good game, but I enjoy this one more.
It's okay to be wrong.
I think we can do an agreement, like, or always at the end of the video, which game would you play right now?
Yeah.
I feel like all of us are going to...
Oh, yeah.
Delphi, 100%.
Or Merlin, just to make Ryan mad.
I already said I will never play Merlin again.
On my birthday, we're making Ryan play Merlin.
I won't come.
I
literally won't come.
No, I don't like Lisbon. I need to play Lisbon.
This is Feld, guys.
Merlin, and what was the other game you were like, I will never play that again? What was it? I can't remember. Luna, yes. We'll have
I hate Merlin way more than Luna, but
oh yeah, I could tell.
Yeah, that was
he was dying. Like it ruined the night almost. Ryan was in such a bad mood afterwards. It was like palpable.
also, like we were just going through it, and I was watching the rule video for it, and I'm like, fuck, I already hate this game. Like I already like this style of game. I just hate how much you're reliant on your dice roll.
Yeah.
I commend you for trying it still,
had
though.
to.
And I commend you for trying to do a roll and move game, because it is like one of the most known, like if you say,
very,
oh,
very
it's a
difficult.
roll and move type game, everyone's gonna go, well, why would, like, that is like horrible.
most
Like,
difficult, yeah.
So I think he did a pretty good job in trying to do it, but it is. Yeah, it's a tricky mechanic to try to get to work,
Yeah.
and I think it kind of does. It almost does, but I think it does way more in this than.
I think it's mostly just because those like the actual like color the actual provinces, like that one spot to get into that province is so important.
Yeah.
Like so incredibly important, and then multiple rounds where you just can't get to it no matter what you do. You're just like, fuck, I'm getting screwed. Like, I'm just like, they're going to keep kicking out my little guys from the area, so there's points lost.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I can't even put them back in. But
we did.
Yeah, but surprisingly, we all agree that we all want to play Delphi right now. That's probably a first for us in these videos. So, let us know what you think of In the Year of the Dragon, Oracle Delphi, Merlin, or Jorvik. And our last video is going to be our big review one. We will rank all 12 of the games that we played as a group.
We played more than 12.
We played more than 12.
We have 15.
Or we really have 15?
15.
We did 4 videos. 3 of them had 4.
8, 12, and a 3.
Yeah, 15. That's
Yeah.
right.
We know there are a couple we didn't get to
Yeah, no,
either
there's some we
just
missed.
because they're impossible to get a hold of, or
Time.
Time,
The
and
biggest
just like
one is probably Bora Bora. We didn't play Bora Bora.
we didn't play Bora Bora, we didn't play La Isla or Amerigo. Some of them we just they're hard to get. I'm shocked we got Macau. And, so we know there's some that are probably, I know Bora Bora is several people's favorite. Like Keegan said, though, like if you ask 100 people what the best Feld game is, you're going to get a wide variety of answers. So it's just a testament to his design work, I think.
Yeah, so we'll rank those 15 as a group, and then we'll give our top 5 individual ones.
Yep.
So stay tuned. That'll be right at the end of the month, the February 28th. That one will come out. Then we'll move on to, who knows, some review games. If you guys want to, if you'd like to see something, let us know.
Yeah, we've got quite a few new games we need to review.
There's a lot of new games that we're excited for.
Yeah, we get to play something else besides Feld.
Yes. Thank gosh. No, but maybe. I mean, I have Sleeping God, so I would like to record the playthroughs, campaigns of that. Thank you for tuning in. Please let us know what you think of these games in the the comments below, and please subscribe and hit the like button. It would help us a lot. Thanks, everyone.
Bye now.
Bye. You ready? Yeah.
Hi. You ready?
I was just about to start.
We can't be doing the same thing. Okay. I always do that. I look over and all of us are like, we're like, like, or we're all doing the same thing. So I'm like, oh, I gotta change it up.